Welcome to video 2 of Agreements Level 1. In today's video, we're going to discuss how broken agreements affect our relationships. Before we do, let's review what we learned in video 1. Now, we learned that integrity means wholeness or keeping our agreements. Breaking agreements usually leads to the feelings of shame, which leads to feelings of failure. Returning to integrity means returning to wholeness. But without a system, everyone stays in resentment and shame. Now, we can be out of integrity with big things and little things. We can be a couple minutes late to a meeting or miss a crucial deadline. There are all sorts of times and ways when we don't fulfill our end of the bargain, and this leaves holes in our integrity. It leaves holes in our team, in our relationships. Think about it this way. When you show up late, you leave a hole in your team. Normally, we allow the yeah buts to get in the way of us keeping our agreements. Yeah, but I got stuck in traffic. Or, yeah, but something came up. They become the justification for why we are not whole. Justification for our shame. Sandy Davis, a self-proclaimed resilience expert, says that keeping agreements is the critical step to reducing stress in your life. Imagine life is like being out in the middle of the ocean on a small sailboat. And every time you break an agreement, your boat magically springs a small leak. Now, sure, we can manage a small leak. However, it does cost us some undue energy and emotion. Imagine now carrying someone in that boat with us. How much confidence would that person have in us if we were creating leaks and compromising the integrity of our own boat? And when we harbor that pattern of failure of breaking our agreements, before long we spend most of our time bailing out water out of our own boat. Tons of stress and shame. Nobody's sticking around in that boat, and before long we must decide, am I going to stay and sink or swim for my life? Here's another example. Each time we make an agreement with ourselves or others, it's like giving away a piece of ourselves with the promise to come back and complete the deal and return that piece to our possession. It's like giving our word to someone. What happens when we don't fulfill that agreement? That person is left with a part of us that is unfulfilled. When we break the agreement, it's like not returning for that piece of you. And they have no use for that piece. It's not theirs. And most eventually disregard that piece of you and that agreement until you can actually come back and make another agreement. And even if it's not conscious, they're hesitant because of that previous engagement. The biggest problem is that people re-engage in agreements with others over and over, and they don't truly believe that they will fulfill it. There's only this hope, or as I call it, ignorance. They bury their head in the sand because they're too afraid to call you on it. And when we try to hide what's really going on, it only creates more guilt and shame and regret in the relationship. So what if you could sidestep that guilt and shame cycle that happens in the agreements you make with others and yourself? You would want that, right? Clearing a broken agreement is like clearing out a broken window. It takes some time to look at all the pieces, how they got there. However, it's valuable information to know before you actually put up a new window. In order to put up a new window, you must clear out the old broken glass. Sure, you can just brush it aside and throw up another pane of glass, but you'd be asking for more pain, a real pain in the glass. So this is why learning how to clear agreements when they are broken is so vital to success. When we know how to peacefully resolve these issues, we can clear the negative energy out of a relationship, which means we'll be able to get more success in our relationships with our spouses, coworker, boss, even our customers. Are you ready for that? Sure. Agreements live and die on what happens when the agreement is broken. So here's your action item. Think of a time when you broke an agreement that you made. What did you do when that agreement was broken? What did you feel? Any shame and guilt? Take a few minutes and discuss with someone close to you, or write down what could be different if you could move on from broken agreements with yourself and return to wholeness, rather than beat yourself up with guilt and shame. And next up, we're going to dive into clearing, the process to clear the negative energy and the feeling of shame when agreement is broken. We'll see you there.